Good evening, everyone. This is Senior Forecaster Cameron back here again, and I'm here to go over the potential of a little bit of a interesting mid to late next upcoming week here, guys. There's a lot of things I'm going to be talking about in this blog. It's going to be a relatively short blog compared to the ones I've done in the past, but it is going to get straight to the point of what we could potentially see as we get towards that Wednesday and Thursday time frame here, guys. But first things first, I don't want you guys ignoring this severe weather threat out of this potential setup as well, as we will have 70s versus 30s and 40s behind the front. So Storm Prediction Center, as I've been talking about in our 7-day outlook, is monitoring for the potential of severe weather. I'm going to go ahead and read to you guys the day 4, day 8 outlook. There is no risk area out as of yet, but Forecaster Smith does go over the potential medium range model guidance in case the first opportunity for appreciable low-level moisture return will occur in advance of a mid-level trough forecast to move from the western states into the central United States during the Monday and Tuesday time frame, which is day 5 and day 6, which was last night. The risk for organized severe thunderstorms would potentially accompany this disturbance as it perhaps the Ozark Plateau through the Mississippi Valley here. So that's going to be if they were to put a risk area out. I'm going to stop it right here at day 4. If they were to put that risk area out, it's going to look something like this here, guys. So it would probably be just like this if they were to put a risk area out for the potential of severe weather Monday night, and into Tuesday here, guys. So uncertainty is still high regarding the potential of this scenario taking place. Model spread increases appreciably beyond this period. Recent model data indicates the possibility of low severe thunderstorm potential over much of the Gulf Coast due to cool and dry offshore flow here, guys. So we will have to monitor for the potential of some isolated severe weather. I talked about this a couple of days ago in our post that we are going to be monitoring for the potential of some isolated severe weather, mainly in the form of damaging winds, hail, possibly an isolated tornado. Like I said before, you're going to have a disturbance that's going to transfer from the western plains, the western states into the central portion of the United States here, guys. It's going to bring our cold front is going to send a warm front towards the north. You're going to have a lot of moisture, a good bit of instability flowing up from the Gulf of Mexico here, guys. I'm going to show you that here just a little bit. So we will be monitoring for the potential of severe weather here, guys. So, as I said before, we're going to start you guys off with the 12Z GFS. I do not like using the 18Z GFS. I'm going to go ahead and make that clear now. I don't like using the 18Z GFS. It's a Ensemble-based guidance. It's Ensemble-based run. It's not operational, so I don't use the 18Z, just like I don't use the 06Z GFS here, guys. That goes with the Euro. That goes with any model. I go off of the pure operational guidance that helps me forecast what we need to know for any particular event. I just want to make that clear because I've had people come up to me and be like, "Hey, did you just skip over a model run? Why are you not showing the 18Z?" I just don't like the 18Z. The 18Z hardly, that goes with any model, but it hardly verifies. I normally keep an eye on the operational guidance here. So we're going to start you guys off with 12Z GFS. Like I said before, we're going to see a warm-up as we get towards this upcoming weekend here, guys. It's going to start very cold. Tomorrow for Valentine's Day is going to be in the 40s or when it lows to the 20s, but that is quickly going to be replaced with daytime highs in the 60s and may even be approaching the 70-degree mark as we get towards your Sunday afternoon here, guys, as low-level moisture begins to move into the natural state ahead of our next disturbance here, that which will be moving through on Monday here, guys. So there's your disturbance back out here in the Texas Panhandle. Your warm fronts well to the north. So you've got your moisture surge moving into Arkansas, which could lead to the potential of some isolated severe weather. Like I said before, we are monitoring for the potential of some isolated severe thunderstorms as we get towards Monday and into Tuesday here, guys. So there's your fundamental. It's going to be pushing through. Now, this is where it gets interesting if you are a fan of the GFS, okay? I'm going to show you the GFS. I'm going to show you Euro. I'm going to show you the Canadian model, all right? As of right now, I talked about this in the 7-day forecast tonight. I am not going with full-on winter precipitation right now. There's a lot of reasons. There's 3 reasons why I'm not going for it at this current time. 1, poor model disagreement on location. 2, the uncertainty on where this boundary is going to stall out. And 3, how much cold air will we be working with here, guys? Because you look from model to model to model, it's basically wanting to predict different areas. So as of right now, there's very, very poor agreement between guidance. So as of right now in our 7-day outlook, our forecast package, I have gone just completely all rain for now, just to count out the potential winter weather, because there's a lot of uncertainties with it, but I'm not going to rule it out. So let's start off with the 12Z GFS. All right, and what ends up happening here, and I think it'll be better for me to show you the temperature profiles first before I show you the precipitation here, guys. So as I said before, we're going to see a massive warm up as we get towards this weekend into the early part of your work week. Temperatures are going to soar into the upper 60s and low 70s here, guys, as we get towards Tuesday. Now pay attention to that boundary, okay? So here we are Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. All right. Your boundary, central Texas, into southern Arkansas, and into the Ohio Valley, okay? You've got colder air filtering in behind this cold front as it's pushing down into Arkansas here, guys. So, cold air is moving in, all right? Similar to a setup, I'm gonna take you guys back in history a little bit. Similar to a setup we've seen back in 2016, where there was a sharp cutoff between who's seen almost 3 to 4 inches of snow and who didn't see a flake at all here, guys. So that's what's kind of reminding me of that particular setup with this system here. So there's your frontal boundary. Now let's take it out here to Wednesday morning. This is right around 8-9 o'clock Wednesday morning here, guys. Your frontal boundary is along the Gulf Coast here, and I'm not meaning to use my arrow. I'm going to use my pen for this one. All right, your frontal boundary is along the Gulf Coast. All right, so you've got colder air. You've got a 1042 millibar high pressure in the Midwest. Okay, so your cold air is going to be there regardless. Okay, so you're going to have northerly to northeasterly winds flowing down into the natural state. So with that being said, with it coming over northeastern Arkansas, where the land is very, very flat, the colder air is just going to have an easier time coming through as if it was coming from the northwest, where we struggled with the last system. Remember, with the last system we had those winds coming out of the northwest, and what ended up happening was it got trapped in those mountains of northwest Arkansas, and it just couldn't make it. It just couldn't make it into the natural state here. So that's what screwed Arkansas out of a winter storm here. But with that being said, if you get your Arctic high in the Ohio Valley, it would send down northeasterly winds, and northeasterly winds are very, very easier to get colder air here in the natural state versus northwest, because northwest hits the mountains, northeast travels over those flatlands of eastern Arkansas, northeastern Arkansas, so it's allowing that colder air to come in pretty quickly here. Now, with that being said, your frontal boundaries along the Gulf Coast, you've got your high pressure. Now, we're going to be looking at the potential of a disturbance that's going to develop along the Mexico-Texas border here. So I'm going to switch back over to precipitation type here, guys, and this is what 12Z GFS wants to do here. So your frontal boundary, as we talked about before, 15Z Wednesday, your frontal boundary is along the Gulf Coast. Okay, so your surface front is along the Gulf Coast. Your front's not in Arkansas. It's along the Gulf Coast. What's coming into Arkansas is cold air. And what's going on here is that you have a disturbance that's pushing moisture over that front and into the incoming cold air. So as a result, you look at the potential of snow, sleet. GFS is really wanting to go all out with this particular event here, guys. So it carries it out towards the east here. So what ends up happening is with this event is that it has high pressure in the Ohio Valley. I'm going to go back here. All right, so it has high pressure in the Ohio Valley here. All right, you got a disturbance that's kind of leaning on the very, very fringes of that high pressure. Your frontal boundaries along the Gulf Coast, so you've got moisture. Here's your setup. I'm going to show you setup real quickly. It'd be better if I drew it out. So let's see. You got your frontal boundary along the Gulf Coast here. Okay, you've got your high pressure in the Midwest. All right, so that's providing your northeasterly winds into the natural state. So there's your cold air. All right, you've got a low pressure that's wanting to develop here. Your low pressure is actually down here in Mexico. That's bringing in all that moisture here. So you've got moisture moving from the Gulf of Mexico, hitting that incoming cold air, and that's where you're getting this broad area of snow and sleet across Texas, Oklahoma, and into Arkansas here, guys. Very weird setup, but I have seen this setup happen before, and I'm going to tell you now, if this particular scenario were to play out, you are going to get a dry slot. You're going to get a very, very sharp cutoff point from who sees what, because what's ended up happening is you got a very strong Arctic high in the Midwest. Somebody's going to get cut off. And with that being said, if I was a betting man, this would be the area that I would keep a very close eye on for the potential of winter weather. Okay, I'm not going against anybody up there in northern Arkansas. It's just this particular scenario favors more central and south Arkansas, where your greater moisture return would be, versus north Arkansas. If your moisture can overrun the incoming dry air with this high, then yes, it would potentially be the entire state. But I'm just thinking, based off experience, that there could be a sharp dry cutoff point for who sees what, who could see a good bit of snow out of this, and then who could see basically nothing at all. So we're still about a good 4 to 5 days away from this thing really transpiring here. So we're going to have to keep a very close eye on future model runs. We'll keep you guys updated with blogs here. This is the very first blog we're doing with the system here, but we're going to keep you guys updated. So there's the 12Z GFS here. It gets it out of here. All right, 0Z should be coming up really soon, but I'm not worried about that tonight. So there's the GFS. Now we're going to go over to the European model. Now, the European model at first did not have the winter precipitation. It kept fighting it and fighting it and fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. Now, what ended up happening was with last night's run, it caved. It caved to the GFS, and it's been caving ever since then. So I am seeing slight agreement. Okay, I'm seeing slight agreement, but there's still other guidance that's suggesting hardly no winter precipitation at all. Some are even saying not even any rain, like they don't even develop the impulse at all. So there's a lot of variables that still need to be worked out over the weekend here. But here we are, like I said before, you're going to get your warm this upcoming weekend. It's a Sunday. Sunday's going to feel almost spring-like across the natural side. You're going to start the weekend feeling like it's very cold, winter-like, and then you're going to go into towards the beginning part of your next week, and you're just going to feel more like spring here, guys. Just the roller coaster temperatures continue from the natural state. So there's the European model as we get towards Monday here, and I'm telling you, Monday we're going to keep very close on for the potential of some isolated severe thunderstorms across the natural state. Front of boundary swings through as we get towards Monday night and Tuesday here. Now, as I talked about before, we're going to keep a very close eye here, because what ends up happening is that front stalls out along the Gulf Coast. This is where that last system had a hard time, because what ended up happening with the last system is your moisture was coming in and your front of boundary was trying to get out. Your front of boundary was trying to get out. You're trying to get the cold air in pretty quickly, and your moisture is just overrunning that. So you're canceling out any particular winter weather unless you live in far northwest Arkansas. Okay? This time around, you got a front of boundary that's sweeping through the state. You got your colder air moving in. If this particular scenario pans out, you potentially, and I mean potentially, could get your cold air here first before the moisture. If that happens, you have a better shot of seeing winter weather across the natural state. That's the one thing we're going to keep a very close eye on here for the next couple of days, is that if that cold air beats the moisture, then your chances of winter weather just went through the roof here, guys. So as we get towards Wednesday morning here, temperatures in the 40s here. The Euro, I kind of trust the Euro with temperatures a little bit, but Euro does struggle with cold air. I saw that with the last event. Now, as we get towards Thursday here, temperatures are in the upper 30s, low 40s. I'm thinking with cold air vetting in place, especially with a very strong high to the north, I'm thinking temperatures are going to have a very hard time getting out of the 30s, especially if you got cloud cover and precipitation around. Now, this is where the Euro is where it's caving to the GFS. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Like I said before, we're watching for the potential of some isolated severe weather. I don't want to ignore that. Potential severe weather, like I said before, if a risk area gets put out, you will be the first to know here at Arkansas Weather Watchers. So just stay tuned to us, follow our page, like our page, to keep ahead of the storm here. Like, so I'm not expecting anything in terms of significant severe weather, but some isolated severe weather could be possible with that front boundary coming through as we get towards Monday night and Tuesday. So that swings through. All right, and what ends up happening is your front boundary stalled out along the Gulf Coast. Your cold air is trying to get here pretty quickly, and I think with the Euro, it gets to cold air here just in the nick of time before your impulse develops out here. All right, and what ends up happening is it just overspreads the winter precipitation. Now, this is what I am talking about. That is why I did not buy the GFS. Okay, when you have a 1042 millibar high pressure in the Ohio Valley or in the Midwest, especially in the Midwest, you're going to get a cutoff point. Okay, Remember that area I just drew out about a good 5 minutes ago? From central Arkansas, southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, western Mississippi, southwestern Tennessee. That is the area that I would put all my marbles on to see the potential of winter weather in this particular scenario. Only reason why, like I said before, is because you got dry air punching in, you got colder air punching in over moisture, so that would favor the area that has the greater moisture return, which is central and south Arkansas. Still time to wait and see what all ends up what happen with this. Can cold air get here delayed? There's a lot of things that need to be worked out over this weekend. But just stay tuned with us here at Arkansas Weather Watchers, because we will keep you guys updated on this potential here. But that's just my early estimate on if winter weather were to occur in a natural state. I am betting it is going to be central and south Arkansas at this current time, only because you've got your impulse moving in, you got moisture moving in, and you got colder air, especially with a 1042 millibar high in the Midwest. I just don't like North Arkansas's chances. Is it zero? Definitely no. But at this current time here, I gotta go with Central and South Arkansas just based off of pure experience here. So that's gonna be getting out of here, and I'm not even gonna show you the snowfall accumulation with that, which would be kind of mixed in. It'd be snow, sleet, wintering mist across northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, portions of central Arkansas. I've seen this before back in 2016 with that event that came through, just dropped a good bit of snow across southern Arkansas, portions of central, and there was just that sharp cutoff from Little Rock to North Little Rock. North Little Rock didn't see much, where Little Rock got slammed with about a good 2 to 3 inches of snow. So it's just how this pattern has been, but it gets it out here pretty quickly here, and temperatures stay right at or actually below normal as we close out. As we begin to close out February here. So there's the European model here, and I'm going to go over and show you the Canadian. I'm not sure the Canadian's out to that particular time frame yet. So there's Monday. By the way, like I said before, watch Monday, because temperatures are going to skyrocket it on Monday if you were to go with the Canadian. But I'm going to go with the 12Z real quick. I ain't got a lot of time tonight, so we're going to go with the 12Z real quickly here. There's the potential severe weather as we get towards Monday night and early Tuesday morning. Swings in front of barometric through. Here we are on Wednesday. Temperatures in the upper 30s, low 40s. I think with cloud cover being in place, I'm buying more upper 30s widespread versus 40s. Alright, and then as we get towards Thursday here we are 30s, low 40s with the potential of winter weather on Thursday here, guys. And I said before, the Canadian, this is why I'm saying there's poor model agreements with this, because here's what the Canadian does with that potential winter weather event. Okay, nothing, nada, nothing. It doesn't have anything for the natural state except for some cold rain. That is all it has for the natural state. Keeps all the winter precipitation back out towards the west. Do I buy that? No, I do not. Especially with a 1042 high in the Midwest, I don't buy that. I think someone is going to get winter weather out of this. It's just a question of who, where does the boundary stall out at. There's a lot of things that need to be worked out. But at this current time here, the chances of winter weather are there, but I'm just not confident enough to put it in the forecast package here. But I will be keeping an eye on guidance here, guys. And like I said before, stay tuned to us. Stay with Arkansas Weather Watchers for the latest. We're going to be monitoring for the potential, not only winter weather, but I don't want you guys to forget about the severe weather potential as well. Because although it's not going to be anything significant, we could see some isolated severe weather as you get towards Monday afternoon and Monday evening here, as that cold front starts pushing from the Midwest into Arkansas here, guys. So just stay tuned, and y'all have a great rest of your Thursday evening.